What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lando and C show tonight. A special episode because our teams are playing against each other in the National Basketball Association. What's up, C's?
What up, Landon? Obviously we got some tension going on here between me and you because
Yeah.
we both have a horse in this game today.
Yeah, man. We duked it out on the court today at the park together, and our teams are going to duke it out tonight, man. So let's see
Yeah,
what happens.
uh, yeah, man, that was fun playing some basketball today, Landon. Definitely got some skills there. I've underestimated you.
I know you did. You texted me saying, like, hey, we go hard, man. I don't know if you want to show up.
Oh, I
Man,
didn't say I don't know if you want to show. I'm just letting.
disrespectful.
I
It was
just like
implied. It was
uh,
implied.
it's just to let you know, because as you saw, my face was from happy and all smiles to like I was ready to kill somebody.
Yeah.
That's me, man. Like when I play basketball, I'm fucking intense. Like that's
So,
I play basketball like that. Thank you, Kobe
um,
Bryant.
man, speaking about intensity, we're going to go ahead and start out by talking about the previous matchup. And let's go ahead and pull this
Listen, if
up.
the Lakers had an ounce of intensity I did, I think we'd be in the playoff conversation right now.
So, yeah, Mavs versus Lakers squaring off tonight at, unfortunately, I hate to say it, crypto.com arena in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, I think we can agree on that. We both hate saying it.
Yep, I missed the word Staples Center, and I even when I searched up, I was thinking about going to tonight's game, and when I searched up how long the traffic would be, I did type in Staples Center, and it still showed up on the GPS. So at least that's okay. It still
That's why
showed
you
up.
got. That's why you take the train over there, Landon.
Yeah, of course.
Never go on the. Never go there
So
by car. But yes.
here was the scene last time they played. It was in Dallas at the American Airlines Center. And man, it was the rookie in overtime with the 3-point dagger to finish the game right at the buzzer. And the Lakers came away with the victory.
Yeah, that was definitely Austin Reeves' welcoming party to the NBA. You know, he's definitely showed out that night and has definitely been one of the lights in this terrible season for the Lakers. You
Yeah,
know,
he has.
somebody
He's been looking
not
good, and you could see the veterans there celebrating with him. I'm sure it's
and
fun for them
embracing
when they
him.
see a rookie and embracing the rookie after a big win. That was in December when the Lakers
Yes.
weren't looking too bad. You know, it was like, okay, there's still hope. But now it's,
Yeah, this is complete shit now.
yeah, now
The
we're
shit show.
past the halfway point of the season, and it's only gotten worse for
Yes.
them.
And yeah, and during that game, we were in Carlucci's class, which was fun. You know, I was definitely watching that. Probably the only game this year where I was actually happy to be a Laker fan.
Yeah. As you can see, this is the box score for that previous game we're talking about here. Obviously, LeBron James led in scoring with 24, Westbrook just behind him with 23. And then it was Davis with 20 and Reeves fourth in scoring with 15. And like we said, that game winning 3-point, he went 5 for 6 beyond the arc and 5 for 6 field goals. So it looks like, I guess he only shot
Only threes.
that night. So, and then also, you know, Anthony Davis, 12 rebounds there. Anthony Davis is a force, and you know, we unfortunately know what happened. We will get to that soon, come the injury report. But yeah, you guys kind of had a full squad there that night, and they came out with a good team overtime victory. For the Mavericks, on the other hand, if you want to talk about them,
you know, hindsight being 2020, Landon, it was definitely not a good win for us because you know we should have blew you guys out that game, especially considering the fact Luka was not playing.
should have, yeah. Both of us, before we were doing a little research for today's video, forgot that Luka did not play that game. He was not in the game. Obviously, Porzingis was, and we know Porzingis is no longer on the Dallas Mavericks anymore. But you know, Porzingis had 23 points that night, 12 rebounds as well, matched AD for rebounding. Jalen Brunson looks like he led in scoring with 25. He's good to pop off every once in a while for a nice high scoring game. Another one is Tim Hardaway Jr., man. We still have him on the squad, but he had a pretty bad injury and he'll be out for, I think, a few more weeks. I'm not sure when he's planning on coming back, but
Yeah, from what I remember last time, he had like a fractured foot, so I don't believe he'll come back this season. I think
yeah,
he's definitely out.
I know. Hopefully, I mean, mate, I don't know. I haven't checked up in a while. Maybe he could come back for playoffs. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it was the full season for sure, and maybe a potential playoff if he heals correctly. Um, but yeah, Luca was not on the floor that night, and we know how well he can play for the Mavs.
Yeah.
There was the scene not too long ago when Anthony Davis went down with an ankle injury, and man, it's been tough for him, huh? It's
Yeah, it's just been tough for him throughout his basketball career. This guy just can't seem to stay healthy to save his life. And obviously that's not his fault. Um, Injuries are just like random circumstances, but damn, the way these circumstances hit him, it doesn't feel random anymore. It just
I
feels
know, yeah.
like it feels like it's inevitable
Yeah,
in a
it's too bad.
sense.
It's too bad. And we saw him on our top 75 list as well in that previous video. And it did mention that he needs to stay healthy in order to kind of solidify his legacy still. And, he really does. He needs to stay healthy in order to still be as dominant. We know how dominant Anthony Davis can be and once was.
I think the last time I saw him at his full potential was that 2020 year.
Yeah.
Um, he looked hungry, motivated, and ready to, you know, show everyone what he could do in the playoffs. And I think that motivation isn't necessarily there no more. I mean, early in the season, he mentioned like, he has nothing to prove to anyone. Granted, if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. But I think just the way this Laker team has played just shows that they're very unmotivated.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to make a joke here at all. It might seem like it, but he could benefit from maybe wearing like some high tops. I know a lot of big men normally wear high tops. He's wearing the low Kobe's.
Yeah,
Uh,
and this is his like possibly like his third ankle injury
yeah, so
in
I
like the
just
past
noticed
two
that
years.
in this picture as we're looking up close, and I don't want to have this picture up for too much longer because obviously it's a bad injury. We don't want to showcase it too much, but I don't know. I normally big men, I think, wear a lot of high tops, right? Just because a lot of the foot movements they do down low and things like that. Um,
Yeah,
but
and just being in a
maybe he should.
yeah, and considering the fact, he's definitely going to be fighting inside, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of feet under you.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you don't want to land on somebody's
Yeah,
foot like he did last time. Well, he just landed on really badly on the floor. But,
of course. Yeah.
I think definitely wearing those Kobe nines, the ones that came in like a super high top, would
That's
benefit him a lot.
exactly what I was gonna say, man. Those, which, by the way, maybe this should be another video. Let's rank like our favorite basketball shoes or something of all time because that is
Oh,
on my
basketball
list.
sneakers. We
Uh,
definitely need to put a tier list for that one.
yes, I think we should too, dude. Let's definitely do that.
But
Let's move on.
what's funny is that like a lot of models, like for example, Jordan 1 can have its own tier list because there's so many colorways nowadays.
Right. Yeah. Um, so here is for tonight's game. This is the sports book for any betting or anything like that. At the very top, you see that the Dallas Mavericks are favored to win by 5.5 points. That is the spread. And the over under, which is the cumulative total of all the points, is 217. So they expect just over 100 points for each team, most likely.
106 points for each team.
Yeah. So, and then if you calculate for the 5.5 spread for Dallas, I guess they assume Dallas would have, 110 or something like that, 112. And then, yeah. So, anyway, moving on from that, we're going to go ahead and
Okay,
finish
so I was just
the
gonna say this
intro.
quickly.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Lakers 5.5, and I'm taking the over the 217 points. I think both these teams like defense,
Yeah.
and I think they're gonna score it up against each other, just kind of like the last game where It went
Yeah.
into overtime. There was not necessarily anybody stopping one another, and you know, shots were just going in.
Yeah, I think that very well could be the case. Here's the Western Conference standings, man. Obviously, we know the situation, not looking too great for the Lakers. That little line, the dotted line right there in between the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, is the play-in tournament kind of type line, right? That's for above that, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. And then under that, you are going to have to fight for your spot in the playoff
Yeah,
tournament.
and it's a damn shame the Lakers are in the position they're in right now. They shouldn't be in there, considering the team that they constructed and what their
Yeah.
expectations were. Definitely surprised that the Clippers are there. I mean, kudos to Tyronn Lue. I think he is the best coach in the league right now. He has that team on a roll,
Yeah.
in playoff contention for that,
They
the
do. Yeah.
buy-in and whatnot. But he's doing it without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on his squad, which is very impressive.
So right now, as it stands, the Dallas Mavericks would take on the Utah Jazz in round one, and the Los Angeles Lakers would have to play two play-in games and have to win both of them in a row. It's do or die in the play-in tournament. They would have to win two and win two in a row just in order to get to the dance, in order to get to the playoffs in the standings that they have right now. And you can see they're what is that, 3.5 games behind the Clippers. So this is really a must-win game, as the Clippers are on a 3-game winning streak. They're hot right now. The Lakers are not. They need this game. I think this game and maybe a couple others are really, really, really defining games of the season for pretty much both of these teams,
Well,
especially the Lakers.
I think for the Lakers, the writing's on the wall for this season. You can see it in the players and the coaches and in the fan base. There is no excitement for the season. It's over. There's not really anything you can build from this. It's a little too late.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, LeBron's decision in bringing Westbrook, backfired on him insurmountably, and he has nobody to blame but himself. I love LeBron James, and I'm so thankful he came in here, won us that 2020 championship, but he fucked up. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, big words from you. And it's been a failure of a season, honestly. It's been disappointing just to watch from the outside, honestly, as well. I'm not a Laker fan at all, but it's been disappointing just to watch from the outside.
And last game was so terrible. I
Yeah,
mean,
against the Pelicans, man.
and in the Staples Center, you heard the boo birds, and you saw videos of multiple players bickering back and forth with fans, and clearly the frustration is showing,
Yeah.
and clearly, unable to hide it anymore.
If I'm
So
the
it is what it is.
Lakers, I need to take that frustration out on tonight.
Yes,
I need to show up at my own home court, get that
exactly.
frustration out on the Mavericks, which are a good team, a playoff contending team. You need to prove yourself tonight. I have another friend that's a Laker fan that I work with, and I had mentioned to him before the Pelicans game that if the Lakers lose the Pelicans game and the Mavericks game, I think it's over for this season for them. If they win both, they still have a shot. If they, trade wins and losses and lose one like they did against the Pelicans, they need to win this game, man. That's the bottom line. They have to win this game. They have to
Yeah,
however they can do
I
it.
mean,
They need
to
this game.
me at this point, it doesn't matter if they win a game or make it into a buy-in or the play-in. I'm sorry, and you know are able to come out that play-in, because at the end of the day, they're going to face a Phoenix Suns team
Yeah.
or a Golden State Warriors team, and these teams are not going to let the Lakers run them over 4 times in a row in a playoff match.
No.
So to be honest with you, Landon, this is really just about pride and showing up. And at this point, that's all I can ask for the Lakers, is for them to show up, show some effort, have some intensity, play like you mean it. as far as wins and losses, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. And saying that is so bleak and honestly, but
Yeah.
that being said, I think we win tonight.
Obviously, yeah, you got your Lakers. I got my Mavs.
Listen. I'm gonna just say this: it can't get worse than what happened the other night. We got our asses spanked by the Pelicans by 30 points. The Pelicans went on Instagram, or not on Instagram, on Twitter, and labeled it on their bio: beat the Lakers in LA by 30 points.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's pretty rough.
It's
and
rough.
then they tossed DeAndre Jordan's ass out of LA too.
It's rough.
Right after that fucking throw. As soon as he threw that full court pass to Rich Paul, they said, yeah, enough with this bozo. No offense, DJ. No offense. That was embarrassing.
So anyways, he's got the Lakers. I've got the Mavs. We will be right back to talk at the very end of this game, and we're going to give our reactions. So let's go ahead and cut to ourselves in 2 hours. One of us is going to be disappointed. One of us
not me. I'll be okay. I'll be like I told you so.
All right, man.
Watch this bite my ass though.
We'll see what happens, man. Maybe whoever starts the next clip is going to be laughing at the other person. So yeah, let's see what happens, and we'll catch you right after the game.
All right, Landon.
Hey. Look at the background. Over Dwight Howard.
Yeah, that definitely shocked me. I was definitely surprised he had that in him. Definitely very shocking.
Man, that was beautiful. Great game. It was a solid contest. Obviously, we're going to review it a little bit. We're going to talk about it. I'll switch. I'll center myself now here. Just had to go ahead and start out with that. But got rocky in the third quarter for the Mavericks, right? Outscored 31-14. Most of those points was LeBron James.
Yeah.
I think he had like 3 3-pointers like from the logo, man.
Yeah, those 3-pointers that should be like 4 points. Like,
yeah, those were gnarly.
People that always talk about four
the Harlem Globetrotters, bro. They have a 4-point spot.
Yeah, exactly.
He was shooting from there, man. So what do you think? What are your takeaways, man? I mean, obviously the Lakers lost, but they put up a great fight against a Dallas Mavericks team.
Yeah, I would say clearly, if they had that same effort in the first half, who knows what the game would have been. I think they definitely at least showed some pride and went out in the second half and showed something more. The first half was really rough. They couldn't get it going, and really, it really felt like just like LeBron ran out of gas, and after that third quarter burst, and you could see it like when he was sitting down on the bench, he just looked exhausted, and he was laid out because he was just really doing everything, and I guess it just caught up to them. They couldn't like at the end of the day, like you can't even depend on LeBron no more because he's older, and once he gassed out, it was clear as day that the Dallas Mavericks were going to finish them off in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you're older, like it gets to a point where you can't be the only person on the team that is trying, and making all the points for the team, and on a team where he shouldn't be the only person, and that's the problem with the Lakers this season. He should not be the only person that's giving this much effort and putting up these points. He shouldn't be, but he is.
He has to, because like you see how they play Westbrook. Every time LeBron touched the ball in the fourth quarter, they just doubled up on LeBron and dare him to pass it to somebody else. And literally, that was the only necessary defensive set that the Mavericks needed, because once they trapped LeBron into passing the ball, none of the other 4 guys could really get it going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so just looking at the box score, Luka led the Mavericks in scoring, 25 points, went 9 for 21 from the field, not too efficient, and made 7 out of 11 of his free throws. LeBron led scoring for the Lakers, 26 points, 10 of 18 from the field, and 3 of 5 from the foul line.
It says he was only 3 for 7 from 3-point line, but those 3-pointers that he hit really did feel like fucking
They
two
were 3 in a
3-pointers.
row, yeah, and they were daggers and very clutch
Yeah.
3-pointers. Those misses probably were coming from earlier in the game, and I know he missed a couple there in the fourth quarter as well. I remember once the time was winding down. And then here you go again. LeBron leads the team in rebounding, 12 rebounds. Dorian Finney-Smith
But
with 9 for the Mavericks, but
you expect LeBron though to be the leading rebounder when they went really small, because like I mentioned in the
sure,
first
yeah,
part, they started LeBron at center and Stanley Johnson at power forward. So
yeah.
they went basically with that lineup that was successful in that overtime win in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And it cost them the first half basically.
Basically, it did. Yeah, I guess they expected to kind of get right back off on the same foot that they were on in the overtime
And
victory
you know that
3 months
exactly.
ago.
And
Um,
that team 3 months ago is not the same team right now.
right.
And it's funny because 3 months ago you thought things wouldn't get any worse than it was, and now here we are.
Here we are. And Austin Reeves did not make himself a part of the game like he did in December. He only had 2 points, 4 rebounds, and 2
Yeah, he
assists.
had some very good defensive plays that led into some momentum changes
Did.
in the third
Yeah.
quarter, but he didn't
Offensively,
capitalize.
nothing was there though.
Yeah, offensively he was not there. He had a couple wide open threes and he missed them, thus leading to those big 3-point LeBron James 3-pointers,
Mm-hmm.
and him kind of being upset that the guys were missing wide open shots. But yeah, not
Um,
too impactful there.
Carmelo stepped up with 20 points today, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. And he had 31 minutes. Carmelo, obviously in Los Angeles to try to get a ring before he gets out of the NBA for retiring.
Not
And
gonna happen.
I feel bad for the guy, man. I honestly do a little bit. I
Yeah,
like
he can't catch a
Carmelo.
break.
Yeah, he can't catch a break, and he's obviously one of the better players to play basketball. And I don't think he's gonna get a ring before he retires, unfortunately, unless if he moves to another team next year that's like a true
Yeah,
contender.
well, I mean, if I'm Melo, I'm not coming back next year. This is fun. He's always wanted to play for the Lakers, and as a Laker fan, this was definitely an exciting move that we got. Because
Yeah,
I've always wanted to see Carmelo in a Laker jersey, ever since like the rumors that came out in like maybe
right.
2014 when he was thinking about re-signing with the Knicks.
Yeah, it's cool to
Um,
see him wear the purple and gold.
yeah, but I know for him, there's better opportunities elsewhere. Some playoff team can use his like capabilities from scoring on the bench. And no team comes to mind this season, but who knows what team will need some guy to score off the bench for them. And once the playoffs come along, a lot of people will get exposed and whatnot and what they need.
Hmm. A few highlights of the game I wanted to touch on were obviously
The picture behind you.
the picture behind me, the Luka poster. On the Lakers side, very clutch 3-pointers from LeBron James there at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth. Um, I loved in the fourth quarter the back and forth between LeBron and Luka. It seemed like in the last few minutes there, each possession the ball was in their hands as it should be, and they were going back and forth, man, scoring like basically posting up on each other down low, turning around, fadeaway shots, and both were making them. And that was fun to see going back and forth. Uh, THT went down with an injury. Um, it was good to see that it wasn't severe. He was able to come back, but it looked kind of rough for a minute, and he did go back to the locker room. So thankfully he wasn't severely injured.
Yeah.
And
Um.
and there was a scary one with I don't know if you saw it, but Jalen Brunson. Did you see him?
Yes.
His
I
ankle
well, I
get
heard he
stepped on?
rolled. I heard that something about his ankle, but he came right back in.
He came right at, like, I don't know how he did because his ankle got stepped. I don't. It might have been Malik Monk, I think. it wasn't on purpose or anything, but just they went up and his ankle just got stepped on, man. Like went sideways. It looked bad. I thought he was going to be out at
Oh
least for the
man,
rest of the game, but he just kept
well,
playing.
I what I assume is that, considering playoffs are maybe not around the corner, but a month away, they'll
Mhm.
probably have him sit for a couple games just so he
Yeah,
can rest
maybe. I'm
that
sure it's going to be
ankle.
sore after tonight.
Yeah.
After that, it looked pretty bad. As well as THT. But did he come back in or did he
Yeah,
wrestle?
Horton Tucker came back in for the
Yeah, he
game.
came back in. He did. But yeah, it was a good game, man. Hard fought contest. Obviously,
Yeah,
the first half was a no contest, really. The Mavericks, it looked like they were going to stomp them. The
and I was right out of I was 50-50 for the gambling predictions. Uh,
that
the
which one?
Lakers held the 5.5 points. They lost by 5. So, if they had lost by 6, then the Mavericks get that. But they had that
Well,
half point,
yeah, it was
uh,
109,
5.5.
104. Yeah, 109,
And
104.
then
Yeah, the spread was 5.5. Yep.
the over and under was 217. I called for over, but they just stayed under at 212.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I just appreciate the fact that the Lakers came out really bad and stinked it up the first half. Kind of the momentum from that Pelicans game kind of continued onward into that first half, but luckily, the Lakers showed some pride in the second half and came back swinging, and at least they didn't lose and just kind of put their hands up in there and said, "Oh well, I guess it is what it is."
Right. Yeah, they definitely did not give up. Next game for the Lakers against the Clippers.
Great, I can't wait to be more miserable.
Yeah, they play the Clippers in 2 days, so they'll get a day rest. Um, and that is, I said it for about today, but that is probably even a more must-win game than the Mavericks game was tonight, honestly, because it is the Clippers that they trail, and now with this loss, they now trail them. It was already 3.5 games, so that's 4.5 games
Well,
behind now.
fun,
So if the
fun,
Clippers win, then they're behind even more.
depressing fact: the Lakers have lost the last 7 of 8 games they've played.
I bet
Yeah.
that's a tough pill to swallow.
Um. It's not tough anymore. I swallowed this pill very, like, before the All Star break. The writing's on the wall. Um.
You have felt
Like I said,
happiness.
yeah, like I said, I don't think the games matter anymore. I think what our expectations were aren't, obviously met. So, at this point, we're fighting to win some games and lose some games, but at least be competitive. And
Yeah.
that's what I hope for from the team, is that they show some fight in them. But you could see it. Like that third quarter run was all offensive uh, firepower, and they got a few stops to get the lead up, but they could never maintain defensive possessions and run with it and go back to the offensive end and score after it.
Mhm.
So they kind of just shot themselves in the foot, and you saw Dwight Powell get an easy dunk because LeBron tried to go for a steal halfway through a fast break, which was ridiculous. And once the Dwight Powell dunked the ball for the lead again, they never looked back. And yeah, it sucks.
Also, I wanted to ask, did you see Russell Westbrook like act like he was about to hit the ref? That was crazy. He was so mad.
I did not see any of that.
Um, he
I'm
was
just over
mad
it.
about a no call, which rightfully so. There was a no call. There was a few no call fouls against the Mavericks that should have sent the Lakers to the free throw line. I remember about two, maybe three, with that they did not call.
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't get like even a look at the, like, I didn't think it was a dirty play or anything, but Benny Smith or Reggie Bullock should have been called for a foul when they elbowed Reeves right in his face
Oh,
as he
I
was
yeah, I
going
remember that.
vertical.
Yeah, I don't think that was intentional at all.
No, no, but you see it nowadays. They always look to the monitor
Yeah.
when certain situations where a player goes down, and they didn't even think twice about calling even a foul, and just had Austin Reeves on the ground.
Tough luck, rookie. That's what they said. Just
Yeah,
you're a rook.
basically.
Yeah. Um,
And with the Westbrook call, that he was definitely hooked and should have gotten a foul call. And at this point, Russell Westbrook has built a reputation, and I don't think refs are gonna, favor him. And as unbiased as refs try to be, they definitely have their favorites in the NBA,
yeah.
especially when you work around them so closely.
Yeah. It's hard to be unbiased, but they should be, of course. Yeah, any last thoughts about the game? Obviously, I'm happy about the outcome. I don't have much else to say.
Well, if I'm a Mavericks fan, I'm not necessarily happy because you see the inconsistencies on defense.
Yeah,
And the first half they came out booming, and they were striking at all cylinders, and then immediately that third quarter they came out, sleepwalking, just kind of taking and they say never to take an NBA team lightly. I mean, granted, it's the Lakers, so how bad we've been, I can understand why the Mavericks took them lightly, but
yeah.
there goes the consequences of taking an NBA team lightly. You give
Yeah,
up a big
exactly.
lead.
I think that is what it was. Honestly, it was
And
absolute
really,
domination in the first half, and then in the third quarter they kind of let up. They thought
and
they had it.
honestly, if I'm being honest with you, uh, Landon, I see the same problems that I have an issue with, like even considering the Mavericks coming out of a first round, is that a lot of the ball is dependent on what Luka can do for the offense, and I don't think that's winning basketball. Like the late great Kobe Bryant said, when a player holds on to the ball too much and is necessarily taking all the possessions and creating everything, it's not necessarily a way you can win basketball like that, unless you're LeBron James. And you know, that's probably like the only instance where I can think of someone who controls every possession and still
Mm,
maintains to win a championship. But then again, he gets all his players involved, and he always has that second guy with him.
yeah,
But I don't think Luka has that second guy around him, and I think this team is, especially in the playoffs when possessions get smaller and smaller, and windows for mistakes get tighter and tighter, they're gonna expect Luka to be the answer to every solution, and I think just a recipe for failure.
yeah. I mean, we've seen it in the past already. I mean, it's first round exits every year, and
Granted, they're competitive.
they do enough to make it to the playoffs, and they'd normally do enough to make it to game 7 in round 1,
Yeah,
or game 6. They never get swept. It's always a contest, but they can't get over that hump. And yeah, it's likely due to exactly what you're saying. They need to surround Luca with just some other power. It can't be just him, because he's not a LeBron James. As good as he is, he's not a LeBron James, and he's not a Kobe Bryant yet. He may be later on. We'll look back in 20 years and see what his career was, but as of right now, he's not. He's a great player, but he needs help. And
yeah. I just think he
I
needs
hope
that
Tim
second
Hardaway
guy.
Jr. can come back, like we were saying earlier. Tim Hardaway is a great player. I like him a lot. I hope he can come back for the playoffs. I've honestly really liked what I've seen from Spencer Dinwiddie so far. He's been killing it, just to say the least. He's been killing it, and he was a honestly probably more than Luka, a very key factor in the win against the Warriors the other day, the comeback victory. Dinwiddie was the X factor in the fourth quarter, more so than Luka Doncic was. So maybe
Yeah,
there's
but
something there. I don't know, but
hopefully, but you can't like. Hopefully, it doesn't just come in spurts, and
yeah,
it shows itself in the playoffs. I don't think
yeah.
Spencer has been in the playoffs yet,
Yeah, we'll
but
see. We'll see what he does under the brightest lights, But
But we'll see. I'm not too high on the Mavericks still. I think, this win wasn't necessarily a great win just because you're looking at the opponent, and this team is the Lakers are not the team they thought they were. Uh that just reminded me of that NFL thing. That one press conference thing. They 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 were who we thought they were. And but yeah, um I don't believe in Dallas yet. I think Luka needs one more guy around him, so
yeah,
that way the ball isn't necessarily always in his hands. I don't know who that one guy is gonna be, but you know, I don't think you can just surround him with a bunch of role players. You need to get him a big name there with him. Maybe preferably a big man to roll with.
Yeah, hopefully one more key player, and then I like a lot of the role players that they have currently. I think there's some that we can ditch, and I do like some of the guys that they have surrounded him with already. Some of them mesh very well with him, and are there when he needs them. But yes, you're right. They need one more guy. And a big man preferably. And we thought it was going to be Porzingis. The franchise did as well, and
Boy,
a lot of
a
people
lot
did,
of people,
including
had
me.
expectations for him.
Including me. I really thought that that was going to be the 1-2 duo that was scary for them. And there were some nights where it was. There were some nights where they did click. And
And that's the wild thing about Porzingis, because you see all the talent there,
yeah,
you just don't know why it doesn't work. But
right.
I think a lot of it was just the fact that he's a jump shooter, and as a big, you're 7'3", dude. You're taller and lankier than everybody. You know, uh, make some work in that mid range
Yeah,
and a fadeaway and a hook. Work
right.
in that inside, but you never. Kristaps was always very reluctant that way, and definitely was preferably more comfortable on the perimeter.
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
not what you need. You need another guy to, insert himself the way Luca does.
Right.
And we'll see what the future holds for Dallas. I think we'll see Luka Doncic in a Laker uniform, because he's gonna never win in Dallas. You
Yeah,
know,
you and all your Laker friend co-parts always Laker fan co-parts always say that. I hear that from so
I
many people.
I'm telling you right
And
now.
the only
I'm
thing I
telling you
respond
right
with,
now.
the only thing I always respond with is you love the Mavericks, and you love the Mavericks. That's
I don't. I just think Luka Doncic definitely looks at himself and says, "I want to be a Laker in my future."
I don't know. We'll see. I don't think anytime super soon. I
Not
think
super soon. I'm not saying anytime super soon, but like I'm saying, so okay, I assume Luka's still in his rookie contract, or he's just playing through his supermax contract right now. No, no, no. He just got a supermax
yeah, he
contract.
got his deal. Yeah, he'll
But
be there for what, 5 more years at least, or
but
four.
the thing is
Four.
though, within those 5 years, if Dallas isn't winning and they're in the same position they're in right now, he will leave. And he will leave for a big market.
Yeah,
That's the kind of guy he is. And I believe it's going to be the Lakers. I think he grew up a Laker fan in Real Madrid and grew up watching Kobe probably, and has always admired the limelight. Maybe New York Knicks, but I really do see him in a Laker uniform eventually. Watch, Landon, just
I
watch.
see him wearing the Mavericks uniform for his entire career
I think you're being
because
very very
because
optimistic.
he idolized Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant did that, and because of Dirk Nowitzki before him, who did the same thing.
Yeah, but I think it means more to Luca. I think he wants to reach a pinnacle higher than being a Maverick. I think he knows he can
you
win in
you
LA.
put so much emphasis in that word Maverick right there.
Yeah, because the Mavericks, they struck gold with Dirk Nowitzki, and they throughout Dirk Nowitzki's career, they are surrounded him with players that could win around him. And I think that's the struggle that they're having with Luca, and they haven't necessarily surrounded him with guys that are gonna take him to that next level. I mean, Benny Smith is a nice player. Tim Hardaway's a nice player. So is Dimwitty, uh, Norman Powell, Jalen Brunson's a great player too. But all these guys are role players. They're
Mhm.
not. They're not like guys that you'd have over like Paul George or
Right.
um,
Yeah, I mean,
Clay Thompson.
you
Or
take most of those players and put them on any other NBA team, they're on the bench.
but even then, like you compare like the top contending teams and their best players, you're taking the other team's best players other than Luca. And
Yeah.
even then, like if we're talking about the top guys, I'm taking Steph Curry over Luca. I'm taking Jimmy Butler in a playoff series over Luca. I'm taking Giannis over Luca. I'm taking Embiid over Luca. I might be taking Nikola Jokic over Luca. I'm just saying that, like, the Mavs don't have the talent, and that's that's gonna show itself in the playoffs. But you know, Luka's also proven to be one of the best players in the basketball world, and single-handedly able to carry a team on his back. So I can't wait for the playoffs and
Me too.
for the
Yeah.
for the Mavericks to get exposed and for
I'm
Luka to
just
get more
hoping
stress
I'm
and
hoping to
stress.
get past the first round this year. I
You
don't think
better hope you get past the first round,
I don't think
because
it's a championship run or anything.
if they don't get past the first round, you're gonna start hearing people talk about reports about Luka not being happy in Dallas, that he wants to win, that he has his eyesight, he has his eyes looking at other places and what they do in the future. I'm telling you, man, this is an important year for the Mavericks to at least get out of the first round if they're gonna want Luka to be at least content coming into the next year.
Yeah, so 109-104 was the final score. Dallas Mavericks get the victory against the LA Lakers. It's 2 hard-fought victories in a row for the Mavs and 2 crushing defeats in a row for the
Hey,
Lakers.
you know what? That whole synopsis that I just had was very defeating for you.
I
So
know.
I'm glad that I could smash this feeling of victory for you, man. Okay? Because, this is not shit for the Mavericks. They have a bigger stepping stones to step over. This
You
is just the pebble in the way.
you heard what I just did. That was the outro to the video. So we're done. We just
Oh, man. I
um
didn't hear the lady tell me that the recording stopped.
that was that was gonna be the outro.
Oh.
Anyway, this is now the outro.
I had to mention it, Landon. All
Yeah,
right.
109-104, your final score. Thank you for watching, everyone. Let us know what you thought about the game down below. And go Mavs.
Like your nation, baby.
Thank you.